Well, good morning again. Today's worship folder calls this a celebration of God's love. We're celebrating United Methodist women. We're celebrating youth. We can't celebrate women and youth without our men. So you don't get off the hook, guys. I think we call it a celebration of life. United Methodist Women International follows the beliefs of the United Methodist Church according to its social principles, which states, the United Methodist Church believes God's love for the world is an active and engaged love, a love seeking justice and liberty. We cannot just be observers, so we care enough about people's lives to risk interpreting God's love, to take a stand, to call each of us into a response, no matter how controversial or complex. The church helps us think and act out a faith perspective, not just responding to all the other mind makers up that exist in our society. Now, our UMW purpose says, the organized unit of United Methodist Women shall be a community of women whose purpose is to know God and to experience freedom as whole persons through Jesus Christ, to develop a creative, supportive fellowship, and to expand the concepts of mission through participation in the global ministries of the church. We think of United Methodist Women, and we see a bunch of old ladies in the kitchen cooking, and there are a bunch of old ladies who cook, a lot, but there's so much more. I was recently a part of a group of women who attended the International Assembly of United Methodist Women in Louisville, Kentucky. It was so exciting and inspiring to meet and hear from women all over the world. We had speakers from Africa, Japan, China, the UK, all over the US. It was just very inspiring. The theme of the conference was, Make It Happen, turning faith, hope, and love into action. The conference was based on the story of the loaves and fishes as told in the Gospel of Mark, chapter 6, verses 30 through 44. Now, we all know the story of the loaves and fishes, where Jesus feeds the 5,000. But think about, what if that story were told today with a little bit of a twist? Hello, Master. Yeah, it's Peter over here. We've got a group on the other side of the hill. We've kind of taken a look, and the people look like they're starting to get pretty tired and hungry. And we're thinking that you need to go off and pray because you've been grieving for John for several days, and you need some time to yourself. We really think you need to send them home and get something to eat. What? You want us to feed them? Really? Well, we were kind of afraid something like this might happen. So Matt has done a flow chart. He's done a count. We've got 5,027, and that's just the men. Anyway, he thinks that we could take up $8 a head and go out and get some box suppers. Judas could take up the money. He's a financial wizard. And Martha did volunteer to go home and bake, but she knows good and well that Mary's not going to help her out. So, anyway, what do you think we should do? What? You think we should see if they have anything with them to share? Okay, hold a minute. Well, we're not coming up with much on this end. Oh, you say someone gave you 5 buns and 2 fish sticks? Well, that's a start. Oh, you blessed it? And then people were inspired to share what they had? Wow, wonderful. I mean, you fed everyone and you have leftovers? That is a miracle. Wow. Thank you. All right, we'll be over later, Lord. Bye. Well, Matt, guess we won't be needing your plan after all. Makes more sense to get on board with Jesus. To me, the second miracle in this story is the fact that people change their attitude from that of a scarcity mentality to a mentality of abundance. When we work together and pool our talents and resources, we can accomplish so much more. That is exactly what UMW has been doing since 1869, when they sent the first woman doctor to India to minister to the people there. By forming connections, building relationships, and supporting others, they make things happen. By realizing that our God is a God of abundance. In 2010, 25 women went to Atlanta to be educated about human trafficking. In 2014, we have over 30,000 women who have been educated in human trafficking and who are sharing the word with others so that our whole nation and our whole world can become aware of that horrible problem. United Methodist Women has recently partnered with UNCOR to form an initiative on maternal and reproductive health for women, which includes family planning. They will find programs that work and support those programs, boost them up, because right now in the world, 250,000 women die each year because they have lacked the proper facility to birth their babies, or they don't have any say in their own reproductive health. UMW has had a huge impact on fair trade products. Fair trade products are those that are made by persons who are not enslaved and by people who receive a fair wage. And since UMW has gotten involved, many companies have pledged to use only fair trade labor for their products. And Hershey's chocolate is one of those. So you really can have a Bliss chocolate today, totally guilt-free. Samaritan's Purse is a mission that provides a shoebox of toys and personal items to children at Christmas time all over the world. The first year they started the program, they filled 28,000 boxes. In 2013, they filled 1.1 million shoeboxes and delivered those to children all over the world. Cooks and Hills is a ministry in one of the poorest parts of the state of Oklahoma. It offers housing, education, and therapeutic counseling for at-risk children ages 5 to 17 who have been abused or neglected or just have no other place to go. Neighborhood Services Organization is located in Oklahoma City, and last year they positively affected over 72,000 people. They also provide homes, they provide clothing, job training, other resources, health resources for people who are at risk. On the local scene at Centenary, $3,800 of our budget goes to district and local missions, including the Lawton Food Bank, the LPS Feeding Program, J. Roy Dunning, C. Carter Crane Homeless Shelter, Cooks and Hills, NSO, and Circle of Care. UMW partners with and supports programs for racial justice, economic justice, immigration reform, climate change, equality and inclusivity, and many other programs and initiatives that are needed in the U.S. and around the world. At our conference, women from all over shared their connections to United Methodist Women. Our keynote speaker was former Secretary of State Hillary Clinton, who is a lifelong United Methodist. At the assembly, it was very exciting. 26 deaconesses were consecrated. Now, a deaconess and her counterpart for men is home missioner. These are lay people who have a call to ministry, but they don't want to go into full-time ministry. They have a passion for something. They are self-supporting. They do not get paid. They're not appointed. But they become educated in whatever their interest is and become consecrated, and then they fulfill their ministry. Pat Hurth, who is the daughter of former Oklahoma Governor Henry Bellman, has set up a retreat center at her family's farm in Oklahoma. You know, we may think, I have little to offer. I'm not perfect. I'm on a fixed income. I don't have much to share. But you know, in the words of Robert Roberts, everybody's got something. Romans 12:2 says, Be not conformed to this world, but be transformed by renewing your mind. I was watching Call the Midwife the other night. It's definitely a chick flick because they deliver babies on TV. But it's a British TV series about, based on the memoirs of Jennifer Worth, who worked as a midwife in London's East End in the 1950s. And Jenny, as she's named in the show, reflects every day on the things that happen. And this is her reflection on perfection. Perfection is not a polished thing. It is often something that is just sincerely meant. Perfection is a job complete, praise given, prayer heard. It can be kindness shown, thanks offered up. Perfection is what we discover in each other, what we see reflected back. And if perfection eludes us, it doesn't matter, for what we have in the moment is enough. We don't have to be perfect. We need to get out of our scarcity mentality and start thinking abundantly. God doesn't need our sacrifice. God invites us into a covenant of life, just as Jesus invited the disciples to feed the 5,000. So God has invited us. We need to hear God's call, see the needs of the community, and find ways that sometimes we may think are impossible in order to serve others. By connecting with others and building relationships, we can accomplish so much more. We need to become educated about the issues, find our passions, develop our God-given talents, and use them.